Another shape we see frequently in our AutoCAD drawings are polygons. A polygon, generally speaking, is a closed object whose sides are all the same length. An example would be a hexagon, or an octagon, or a square. Polygons are used for everything from call-out symbols to hex bolts to gazebos. Let's look at how we can create them using AutoCAD. I'm going to come up and open a drawing. I'm going to go into my exercise files folder under Chapter 6, and we're going to open up the number 4 drawing, the polygon drawing. Click Open. Now I've got several examples of polygons on my screen. Each one of these guys was created using the polygon command. One important note, every polygon we create using the polygon command will have sides of equal length. They will be equilateral. Every polygon we create is based on a circle. If I pan over, I can see that these shapes, yes, in fact, would fit inside of a circle. Now, creating polygons is very similar in workflow to creating a circle. Generally speaking, AutoCAD's going to ask us to pick the center point, and then it's going to want to know what the radius is of our circle. Now, there's one extra piece of information. Let me back up and pan over. The polygon can actually go one of two ways. It can either be inscribed or circumscribed. The way to tell the difference: if we know the distance from the center to a corner, it is an inscribed polygon, because the polygon would fall on the inside of our circle. If we know the distance from the center of the polygon to a face, it is a circumscribed polygon. That's because the polygon's being created on the outside of our circle. The method that we use will be determined on the way the polygon is dimensioned. The rule of thumb is, if it's dimensioned across the points, or the corners, it's inscribed. If you got dimensions across the flats or the faces, it's circumscribed. Let me pan over. This is a metric drawing. This is a metric wrench, and I've got some metric sockets up above. We are going to take and recreate the two sockets. Let's start by doing this polygon. I'm going to launch my polygon command. So I'm going to come over to the draw toolbar, and I'm going to click on the polygon tool. When this comes up, AutoCAD's asking me the number of sides. The default happens to be 4, which is perfect. I'm going to hit Enter to accept 4. Now AutoCAD's asking me to specify the center of the polygon. Well, I would like it at the center of the socket. Fortunately, I have a running object snap set for center point, so I'm going to put AutoCAD's eyeball on the arc. I'll click, and AutoCAD just found the center. Is it inscribed or is it circumscribed? Since I have the distance from face to face, this is a circumscribed polygon, so we will select circumscribed. And then lastly, AutoCAD is asking me for the radius. If we look at the command line, we can see that definitely. Specify the radius of the circle. Well, in my example, my circle has a diameter of 16. I know what the full diameter is, so my radius must be 8. And hit Enter. I have just recreated that polygonal shape. Let's try and recreate this one. Once again, I'm going to create a polygon, so I'm going to right-click, and we'll grab the Repeat Polygon from the menu. Enter number of sides. In this case, I've got a hexagon, so I'm going to type in 6 for my number of sides and hit Enter. AutoCAD's asking me to specify the center. I will just move over since I have a running object snap of center. And I will put my cursor on top of the arc and click. All right, is this an inscribed or a circumscribed polygon? Since I have the distance from corner to corner, this is inscribed, meaning it would fall inside the circle. So I will select inscribed. All I have to do now is pick my radius. Notice I have my ortho set. This is very important. Just for the sake of science, let me turn this off. If you don't have your ortho set, the angle of your polygon will be determined by wherever your cursor happens to be. So let me turn that back on. There we go. I'm going to just pull to the left, and the radius of my circle is going to be 10, because I can tell from my existing geometry that the diameter is 20. So I'm going to type in 10 and hit Enter, and we have just recreated that socket. The polygon command is a much more efficient way of creating equilateral shapes than drafting them by hand. Once you understand the meaning behind inscribed and circumscribed, you can easily create nearly any polygonal shape you can imagine.